Show, news and ooze, where you get your news, but you'll always get your ooze. I am your host, of course, Miss Tyese. And before I go any further, please make sure you download the Coyoteman Show network on your mobile apps, also on Roku and Amazon Fire TV. You can even watch live, and you can even contact us live. So if you have a question for myself or for my guest, please call in, and that is at www.coyotemanonline.com/live. And now I'm also starting to let people know that because this is football season, so we can't always expect people to come in live. So if you missed the live, you can always watch the replay, www.coyotemanonline.com/Tyese Show. So I want to give you a bit of information about my guest today before we go into the news portion. Now, my guest, he is an author. And now this is a genre or category that I have not covered yet. I've had a couple authors on the show, but this is definitely different. And he's just in time for October and before Halloween. So, of course, I just gave you the answer. His genre is horror. So he's very accomplished. Books are sold on Amazon. So he's going to give you all that information so that you can look to purchase one of his books or all of his books before Halloween, and you too can be scared. But thank you. My guest today is Mr. Joseph Norris.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? I'm happy to be here with Tyese and shooting the breeze and cutting the bobo, as they used to say back in the day.
All right, now. Showing your age, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I do thank you for coming and being on the show today. Now, before we get into all of the accomplishments and background history and journey of Mr. Joseph Norris, of course, we always get into a bit of news. So now, as you can see, I'm not all dolled up today. I have on my breast cancer awareness hoodie today. All right, which also gives me an excuse to dress down. So now this is October. So of course it's my first show of October, and now we are in Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And another reason why I wanted to make sure that I represented, about wearing my little hoodie and everything today, is that part of my news also is about breast cancer awareness. Okay, so what has been brought into the medical industry this week is, when it comes to breast cancer, is that they're saying now that what we have heard previously, that women should get their mammogram and be screened once per year as of about age 45. It's actually changed now. There should be additional screenings, is what we're being told. The additional screenings would be an MRI and then also an ultrasound. So, of course, before it was the mammogram once a year, and also being taught how to self-exam at home. But now they're saying that it's more accurate if you are also getting an ultrasound and an MRI. Now, unfortunately, there is a little controversy with this because this is not all covered by insurance. However, what I would like to say to you, family, is there are times when money can be tight, but we want to make sure that we are working in a preventative measure and not just a find out when you may be in a stage, in a second or third stage. Okay, so we can't put a price on our health, and it's exceptionally important. And y'all know me, I had to put on my glasses, showing my age. Okay, so the CDC reports that breast cancer is the second most common cancer among American women, Okay, so again, the yearly mammograms are not enough now. You want to get your additional screenings. Now, also, something else that I wanted to make sure that I covered in the news this evening that I found out this week is, now this is also medical related, and this is in regards to anxiety and depression. So now what we're being told now is that, as opposed to going to the doctor and just getting um, your regular physical, now they're saying that you should let your doctor know that you want to be screened for anxiety and depression because it's running so rampant. So, for instance, 26% of men and 46% of women have experienced, and this is in the US, an anxiety disorder at some point in time in their lives, maybe have even had a panic attack. Okay? So now what you want to do is you want to understand what anxiety is. You may even be dealing with it and not really know what it is. You may have even had a panic attack and not know what it is. So, what I wanted to make sure that I provide you with is information about some symptoms. And in that way, maybe you can begin to relate it. And also, feel free to please look up some information on your own. And in addition, you are always welcome to contact your local mental health provider. And as well, I would like to even offer that if you believe that you may be dealing with anxiety and or depression, you can even email myself. I can be emailed at the emerald, like the color, the emerald loves you, and that's you written out YOU at gmail.com. What I can do is connect you with some resources. Now, some symptoms of anxiety: restlessness, being irritable, overly irritable, and also when you're suffering from anxiety, you may experience sleep problems. And that comes from like your mind being all wound up, you know. Maybe you have a fear of something that is about to happen. Maybe you have a fear that's not even justifiable. But a lot of times, if you're dealing with anxiety, you will also go through insomnia. Okay. Um, Now, people that have anxiety issues, it could be a social anxiety. It could be different fears, like for instance, being around a lot of people at one time, being in a crowd. It can also be being in a large space, and can be being in a small space, like an
Mm-hmm.
elevator. Okay, so there's a lot of ways that any of us really could have some type of anxiety type of issue, maybe even as much as a panic attack. With panic attacks, different symptoms or different physical feelings will happen. Like for example, you may have headaches. Okay, you may actually end up in a cold sweat. So there's different ways to know that you're having a panic attack, and it can last for several minutes. Okay, so like I said, if you feel that you may not even necessarily be in crisis, but you expect that uh, you may be dealing with some anxiety, then feel free to email me. But also, reach out to your resources. There's plenty of resources available online. You can go, for instance, even to the American Psychological Association, but there's different websites that can help you. And then from there, reach out to your doctor, schedule yourself a physical, and let the doctor know that you want to be screened for anxiety and depression. Okay, and then there's also a holistic approach. I don't know about you, Joseph, but I'm one of those people that like to do things like drink my tea,
Yeah.
in the morning,
Right.
and my tea might have in it I like lemon, honey. A drink, maybe a green tea. It might be a black tea,
Right.
But I'm very much into the holistic, where some things are taken care of naturally. Now, I'm not saying as to not seek medication. If medication is necessary, then that should be the route that you take, and you always consult a doctor first. Then do you do? Is there anything that you
I
do that you feel
well,
is like more
yeah.
holistic?
I take a lot of holistic supplements. One, for instance, is Ceylon Cinnamon,
Okay.
because initially I was diagnosed with uh, type 2 diabetes,
Oh,
and
okay.
gave me metformin, but I saw all
Mm-hmm.
the after effects that
Mm.
metformin has, so I
Mm-hmm.
didn't take it. So one of my aunts, can I mention her name?
You can.
Shirley Isabel. My aunt, she told me about Ceylon Cinnamon. So I started taking Ceylon Cinnamon for about a year and a half now, and dropped my A1C from an 8 to 5.7
Oh, wow.
with
Okay.
just taking two
Mm-hmm.
Ceylon Cinnamon pills a day and just going about my business.
Okay.
So I take Ceylon Cinnamon, and I take uh what is that, the flaxseed oil tabs.
Oh, flaxseed
Yeah,
oil.
for the
Mm-hmm.
heart.
Mm-hmm.
Helps with the heart and
Yes.
circulation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hibiscus is another one that helps with the
Yeah,
heart.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I drink hibiscus tea when I can,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
limited on taking liquids because I'm taking dialysis right now, so
Right.
I'm liquid you know restricted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now the hibiscus, I used to drink pretty regularly. I'm not gonna lie, I need to order some some more hibiscus tea. But now the cinnamon I have every day.
Mhm.
I will put cinnamon in something every single day. Um, if it might be my cereal, which I don't have cereal very often. And if I do have cereal, it will be like the original shredded wheat, like those big
Yeah,
biscuits,
yeah. I
you
like those.
know,
Yeah, the one.
or the original Cheerios,
Hmm.
because there's not a lot of sugar. It's even nutritionist recommended.
Right.
So I will have those two. That's really the only cereal that I eat that's cold cereal. But I always put cinnamon in it. Cinnamon's exceptionally healthy for you. Now you mentioned, and you said, now what was that you said before the word cinnamon?
Oh, it's Ceylon Cinnamon.
A Ceylon.
Ceylon.
So
Ceylon. Ceylon Cinnamon.
okay. So how is that? Is that
Well,
different from the ground cinnamon I'm
yeah,
buying in the
because
store?
the Ceylon Cinnamon is from the tree bark of the bark of the cinnamon, and it's
Hmm.
much more powerful,
Oh,
and
wow.
it helps your body better, and
So,
it also sinks into your blood quicker.
oh, that's what we need.
Yeah.
We definitely need that. So because when we're taking uh vitamins, yeah, our vitamins, or getting vitamins, minerals, nutrients from foods, or then also I mean, we need it to absorb in our blood system,
Right.
quicker. So see, a lot of us are taking vitamins every day. Like, we may be taking a multivitamin, and we think we're doing quite a bit for our health, and
Right.
then just to find out really that it's not being absorbed
Right.
properly, not being
Exactly.
absorbed like it should.
Yeah, but the Ceylon Cinnamon does absorb quickly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna have to look into that. Saying, you said it's Ceylon.
Yes.
Ceylon. Look, if that's a misspelling, I'm gonna blame you. No, I'm just kidding. So now, can I order this from Amazon? I'm an Amazon. That is
I
terrible.
don't
I'm an
know,
Amazon. I will
because
order
I usually go to the vitamin shop,
vitamin shop. Okay.
or mom's organic.
The mom's grocery store.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I haven't been there in a while. Okay. All right. So now with that, we are going to go to break. We have to pay some bills. So make sure that you come back. The Tyese Show, news and ooze on the Coyoteman Show Network.
We must secure our families. KFG Life Insurance Specialist is a company that partnered with 15 of the top life insurance companies to ensure you get the best pricing, knowledge, and products to suit your family needs. Some people believe that term insurance is better than whole life insurance, while others feel the complete opposite. Some may feel like universal life is the way to go, and others may feel it's better to have a whole life policy. The truth is, neither of the products are better. One just may be more suitable for your family. Our life insurance specialists are not biased, as they are partnered with several life insurance companies. This ensures our clients get the best pricing, education, and products that are suitable for their families. Let KFG Life Insurance Specialist make these decisions easier for you and your family. Our office is located at Security Square Mall, next to Burlington, in the Coyoteman Show Network. Please call to make an appointment at 443-400-5224 or go to www.lifeinsurancepecialist.org. That's www.lifeinsurancepecialist.org. Let KFG Life Insurance Specialist help you prepare your family in the present, because the future is not promised. Act now.
Show news and ooze. Thank you for being tuned in. I want to wrap up the news a bit and just say that remember that when you go to the doctor to ask for an anxiety and or depression assessment, okay, and they will be able to let you know if from then maybe you will receive a diagnosis and need to contact a mental health provider to look for you can be referred to a therapist and or a counselor. Okay. Also, there's holistic doctors as well. They're very much licensed and certified, just like any medical doctor, but that may be the route you want to take as well. So you want to make sure that you know your resources, do your research. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that. And we are going to go into now the best portion of the show, the portion that I like, and that is speaking with and finding out about the accomplishments and the journey of my guest. Today, my guest is Mr. Joseph Norris, and he is an author, and again, in a genre that is new on the Tyese Show News and Ooze, and that is horror.
It's good. Horror is good.
Horror is good.
Yeah.
We're going to go with you on that for the next 20 minutes or so. Now, Mr. Joseph, I want to definitely have you let everyone know, tell our audience how did you get started in horror?
Well, as a child, my mom and dad would take my sister and I to the drive-in, Carlin's Drive-In, that's no longer around. They would take us to see horror movies, and we were like 8-9 years old, and we would sit in the back seat and we watch horror movies, and we had to sit there and look at all the gory, scary stuff, and we were like, my sister was like always cringing, and I was like looking at my parents like, wow, they're really scared. This is cool, because you don't see your parents scared of anything. I'm like, wow, this is all right. Then I will watch the movies, and I'm like, hey, this is pretty cool. All right, I like this kind of stuff. So that's how I got into it. Then I eventually took a creative writing course at Morgan State with Dr. Eugenia Collier, who's my mentor. And what we did was we were in class, and Dr. Collier asked everyone to write something and read it in class. So I was like, well, what does she want us to write? she said you can write anything. So I'm sitting there. I had no idea. All of my classmates are writing things like power to the people, love thy neighbor, and energy this, energy that, and,
Right.
and
That would have been me.
it was like two people before me, and I hadn't written anything. I had no idea what to write. So before she got to me, I just started writing, stuff down. And she said, "Okay, Mr. Norris, what did you write?" I said, "Okay." So I read the story to her. The story was about a boy who was being abused by his father, and he didn't take the trash out, and he was in the shower. The boy was in the shower, cleaning himself up. And he heard the bathroom door open. So he said, "Dag, it's my father coming in here." So he was like, cringing for a beating. Well, when the shower curtain opened, it was his mother. She was standing there with a bloody knife. And she said, "You don't have to worry about your father ever again. I took care of him." And she gets in the shower with her son. And that's how it ended the story. And Dr. Kaya was like, "Wow, you just wrote that in like 5 minutes?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "I want to work with you." And that's what started me with my writing horror.
Wow. So you pulled that together quick.
Yeah, I had. Yeah, well, yeah, it just came to me.
Yeah, but see, when it just comes to you like that, then that is your first sign that this is a gift.
Yeah,
I mean, it's. I understand. It's like me in poetry. A lot of times, if I sit down and say I'm going to write, it doesn't come to me as quick. And then but at times there may be something that's inspiring, and then all of a sudden, I'm putting out, a poem in like 15 minutes.
Right.
Like
starts clicking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It just starts, but that's how you know it's a gift.
Right.
So now when I was young, I would say my first experience with horror would have been watching Poltergeist. Or I should say trying to watch Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Because all I remember just the little girl sitting in front of the TV, and the TV is showing the snow. Like she's talking about they're here, and I mean me, like, and my brother is 6 years younger than me. So we're like watching this together, and we just sitting there like, this how we watch. And you might do one of these, like, looking between your fingers and all that.
Oh, wow.
It's like but I couldn't, at the same time, I couldn't pull myself away.
Right.
Now
see, when we weren't going to the drive-in, every Saturday night, me, my mom, and my sister watched Ghost Host on 45. That was way back in like the 70s, the early 70s and late 70s. We watched Ghost Host and just be scared, shitless, and, just sitting there shaking this. Well, they would be shaking. I'd be there like, wow, okay, this is all right. Now, just start taking mental notes on how horror was done. Right. Yeah. So like right now, I watch horror like every other day. I'll pop in, go on the internet and watch an independent horror film or one of the mainstream horror films and take mental notes.
Now, after the Poltergeist, I want to say from then it was Amityville.
Oh yeah.
Oh no! Like I'm telling you,
that's a good one. Yeah, Amityville.
Oh my goodness! I remember even going to see Amityville, like some version of it or something as an adult, and I would have been about maybe 30, maybe 33, 34, something like that. I got up after about 15 minutes and walked right out the movie theater.
Really? Wow.
Look, left my date sitting right there. I'm out of here.
Well, when I was in college, I went to Cheney University, Pennsylvania, the #1 HBCU, the first HBCU. But when I was at Cheney, we would ride up to New York, up to Long Island, and we would go to Amityville. We just to see the house. And we were like, wow, that's the house. Ooh, cool. And we were like, what the hell is wrong with us? Why are we doing that?
It's not
like, well, it was something to do. And, me and a few of my other friends, we would do that. But, the other people, they were like, there's something wrong with those guys.
Right.
Like, okay, we ride up, see it, then ride back home. Well, ride back to the campus.
Yeah, that's not my idea
Well,
of a fun evening.
Yeah, I mean, things like that, it was interesting. It was exciting. I mean, we wouldn't go on the grounds of the house. We would just sit in the car like, okay, that's the house. Okay, let's go now.
I mean, you might as well go up and peep in the windows and all of that.
We didn't want to conjure up anything that would be following us back to campus. Stay right here. We stay right over here. We'll stay in the car and say, hey, how y'all doing, ghosts? Go back to campus.
Are you one of those people that watch those ghost shows about, that's like paranormal activity type of that?
I used to, but I don't because of an incident, but I'm not going to talk about the incident.
Oh,
so
okay.
Nah, I don't watch paranormal. No, I don't watch that. I don't want to conjure up anything that would bother me because if I don't bother it, it won't bother me. That's the way I feel about it.
I want to say the closest I would have watched is I watched Final Destination Part 1, and after that I was like, I'm good. I don't need to see if they come out with a 2, 3, 4. I don't need to watch this. Like, I'm good from here. It's okay. So now. After that, my experience with horror to me is not even what you would call scary, and that was in the days of Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, all of that. I mean, then that I have no problem with. I used to go to the movie. I'm telling you, every time a Friday 13th came out, I was going to the movies to see it.
Yeah, I would watch things like that. Freddy, Jason. Michael, and the other things like Phantasm, the one with the needles in the head. I forgot his name.
Oh, I didn't go see the
Hellraiser.
Hellraiser guy. Yeah, I didn't go see him.
Yeah.
I was like, I think that one might be a bit much for me.
Yeah,
I passed.
But as far as like movies, there was one movie I watched once and I won't watch again. Is The Exorcist. I don't mess with
The Exorcist.
Yeah, I don't deal with that.
And that's what I mean. Like The Exorcist. Like I saw one, and like nope. No, that's too much. Too much for me.
Yeah, and see in my writings, I don't write about any spirits or demons.
Oh, okay.
So, like I
no
said,
spirits, no demons.
I don't mess with them. They won't mess with me.
And I figured that's exactly where you were going. When you said that a few minutes ago. That you don't cover spirits and demons.
No.
And yeah, I'll leave all of that alone.
Yeah, everything else is wide open.
I see. Okay. Now your first book. Shepherd into Hell. So give us some definitely.
Yep, the first book.
And tell us about Shepherd into Hell, how that came about.
That came about from me being in the hospital as a patient, and I was sitting there wondering what a werewolf would be like if he was disabled. A person would be like if they were disabled and they were a werewolf. So I was like, interesting. So I just sat down. I was sitting in the bed, and I came up with this sentence. And the first sentence of the book was, "Dry leaves, the blood on the dry leaves are easy to follow." And I'm like, So that's where the book came from. The blood on the dry leaves are easy to follow because there's a bounty hunter chasing this guy through the woods, and the blood is from him shooting the guy because he was mad because the guy made him come out to chase him down because he's missing a football game.
Okay.
So he got mad, so he shot the guy. So he's chasing him, tracing him with his blood on the dry leaves. And the bounty hunter is disabled. He has a prosthetic leg. And he's trudging through the woods to find the guy he shot. When he finds out where the guy is being attacked by this giant wolf. He's like, well, where in the hell did this wolf come from? There are no wolves in Maryland. So he starts shooting the wolf because the wolf is killing his bounty. The wolf doesn't die. The wolf gets mad and attacks him, the bounty hunter. And the bounty hunter fights him off, and with adrenaline, he pulls out a knife, a big Bowie knife, and he starts cutting at the werewolf, and he ends up beheading the werewolf, or slice part of his head. And as the werewolf is trying to get away from him, while the wolf is trying to get away from him, he's crawling away from the bounty hunter, and as he's crawling away, he starts turning into a human. And the bounty hunter's like, what the hell just happened? And, while he's sitting there trying to figure out what happened, he calls his partner. He says, Sean, come get me. I'm in the woods. I'm hurt. So, when Sean gets there, he explains to him that, there's something weird in the gully where that guy just ran into. He was a wolf, but now he's not. And Sean's like, well, if he's not a wolf now, he's a human. He was a werewolf then. And the bounty hunter, whose name is Joe Kokomo, said there's no such thing as a werewolf. He said, yeah, okay. So he said, well, you got bitten. Sean says to Kokomo, you got bitten. He said, yeah. He said, oh, that's not good. He said, because if you got bitten, you're going to be a werewolf.
You're going to be a werewolf.
Yeah, so that's when the whole story just gets really crazy.
Oh, it wasn't already crazy.
Oh, no, it gets crazier. Especially because the bounty hunter, when he turns into a werewolf, he doesn't know he's a werewolf. Now, when he turns into a werewolf, he has to get rid of his prosthetic leg. When he turns into a werewolf, his real leg actually grows out of his stump.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And when he goes on his killing sprees, he gets tired after he kills people, and he turns back into a human, but he's without his prosthetic leg. And he has to explain to the police why he's naked and why he doesn't have a leg. So he comes up with these weird excuses as to why this is so, and the police kind of believe him because he's a bounty hunter, and they just, they let him go. But like I said before, he doesn't know he's a werewolf. He just thinks that something weird is happening, and he just can't explain it. And that's when this Arabber, who's an old Ethiopian witch doctor, as soon as he sees Joe Kokomo, he says, I know what you are, and I can fix you. And Kokomo's like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Because the Arabber, like I said, he's a witch doctor from Ethiopia. He knows he's a werewolf. And he tries to save Kokomo.
That is exceptionally detailed. Oh my goodness. But you know what? That sounds really good. I think now that I'm hearing more of the story, I feel like now I definitely need to go ahead and get a copy. I just did not want to do the whole spirits and demons. Like,
no spirits and demons. But yeah, you can get that on Amazon and Barnes and Noble.
Amazon and Barnes and Noble. All right, now Shepherd into Hell.
And one quick note about the Shepherd into Hell, that I'm currently working with the screenwriter of the movie Takers. His name is Peter Allen. I'm working with him and his son Christopher Allen. We're gonna make a film out of the Shepherd into Hell.
That is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay, so book into movie.
Yes.
All right. Well, now what I can do in addition to ordering a copy of the book and reading the book is when that comes out, I will definitely promote and support. Okay. And what I can do is I can grab my partner. Now, this is one of my daughters. And the story is that when my daughter was about 17, she wanted to go to the movies to see. No, she might have been 15 or so. But anyhow, she wanted to go to the movies to see a horror flick. And I hate to say it, but I cannot remember which one it was now. Well, she wanted her sisters, my other two daughters, to go with her, but they are definitely not into horror, and they wouldn't go with her. So she says to me, she tries a couple girlfriends and everything, and nobody would go because nobody was in it. They're like, no, nobody wanted to be scared. So she says, Ma, I really want to go see this movie. I'm going to ask her now because it's going to annoy me that I can't remember it. But so she says to me, Ma, I want to go see this movie, but you know, they won't go. My sisters won't go with me. My friends won't go with me. Come on and go see this movie with me. And I was like, girl, like horror. You know, I don't look at horror movies. And she's like, come on, please. So, okay, all right, I'll go with you. Well, since then, we have gone to see every Annabelle. And we've seen each part of Insidious. Okay. So that's as far as I've gone. But we've seen. So now she's my horror movie partner. Mm-hmm. So now when something comes out, you know, she's texting me if she finds out first, or if I find out first, and I have to let her know so we can go together to see. So now we will have, when this comes out, when Shepherd into Hell comes out on film, your support. And we will support, me and my horror movie partner. My oldest daughter will support as well.
Okay, good, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, because that transferred that book. After I finished writing it, I was gonna write another book. Mm-hmm. But writing books, you know, it takes a long period of time. It took me 3 years to write that.
Whoa.
So I started writing the next book. But I had so many ideas of stories running through my head. So I talked to a writer friend of mine, Miss Stephanie Freeman. And I said, look, I have all these stories in my mind. What should I do? She said, well, why don't you just write all of them into one book? Just write them into short stories. So that's where the next book came into. Those are all short stories.
Okay.
Short horror stories.
Short horror stories. Okay. Yes. That's good. It's not I want to say the word I guess I'm looking for is intimidating. You will have people that will pick up books, and because of how thick the book is, like, they want to know the story, they want to read it, but it will take them forever to read. But I feel like if horror is in short form like that, a couple of stories in one book, I would say that's very appealing. I like that idea. Yeah. So now, when did you start writing the second book?
Oh, wow. Let's see. It was published in May of 2022. So I started writing this 6 months before. So it took me 6 months to write that.
Wow. So 3 years for Shepherd into Hell, and then 6 months, into and then you were fully up and running.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, that's incredible.
Yep.
Now, what type of advice would you say you have for a new author coming into this? You know, they've started putting pen to paper. You know, what do you have any advice, especially in this category, in the horror? Don't
stop. If you have an idea that you think will be something that everyone will want to read, write it. First, what I do, like, don't, you can do what I do, but I outline everything as far as like my characters and the storyline, the plot, well, not the plot, but the locations. Then I start writing the story. But like I said before, don't stop. And when you start, if you have an idea, don't let people tell you no one wants to read that.
Exactly.
Your stuff is too gory. Your stuff is too crazy. Write it anyway. You can self-publish it. Get it edited and self-publish it, and go from there.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad that you mentioned don't let anybody tell you that you cannot do it. There's an audience for any genre.
Right. Exactly.
It does not matter. You can even go on Facebook and find a group, of people who are into horror. But there's always an audience, and it makes no difference what the genre is. So it's just really about, if you feel that you have a book in you, then go for it.
Right.
Go for it. Now, did you self-publish both of your books?
Yes, I self-published both of them. Like I said, the latest one, first one I did with KDP, which is an offshoot company with Amazon. But the second book, which is called They Are Always Watching, Things That Go Bump in the Night, I did that with Ingram Spark. And with Ingram Spark, I got larger distribution.
I see.
Because this book is on every continent on the planet except one, which is Antarctica.
All right now.
And it's in over 150 independent bookstores nationwide.
Wow. All right now. That's an accomplishment.
This book is, like I said, They Are Always Watching, Things That Go Bump in the Night, is everywhere. Yeah, and you have a couple of there are 13, I think it's 13. Yeah, 13 13 short horror stories.
13.
13 short horror stories, ranging from people in a van going to they're musicians going to a gig, and they come across this guy walking down the street. They're driving up in Carroll County in Maryland, those dark roads, and they see this guy walking in the street, and they almost hit him. So what eventually happens is this guy is an entity. He's not a demon, but he's an entity that preys on severed heads, and he attacks them. And all this takes place in the van, and the story is called The Van.
Okay, I'm getting that one too. Definitely, they're always watching, things that go bump in the night. Now, so between the self-publishing and then going with a publisher with this second book, I know you said the distribution is far-reaching on the second book because you went through a publisher.
Well, no, this was done self-published too. But
it was self-published.
Ingram Spark was a wider. They have a wider base.
Okay.
With their distribution.
Okay, I see. So you would recommend using self-publishing to a new author or someone,
Yeah. Well, me personally, yes, I would. I would continue doing self-publishing instead of writing query letters and being rejected and knowing that your work is good and no one wants to see your work. If you keep getting rejection letters, that might depress you and you get disappointed.
Right.
With you self-publishing, if you write a good story and get a good editor and you have a good book cover, you have a good book. and you can market it to the masses and have fun like me.
Yeah, there's so many ways to design your cover nowadays. You can design your own cover. You can go, like, for instance, I'll go on Canva, and look, me throwing out another place that isn't paying me for any advertising. Yeah. But anyhow, I just want to let people know that, these inspiring authors out here to not quit, to, do what you want to do, but you can even design your own cover. You can always pay someone to design your cover, but you can design your cover yourself, and you can do it very, very simply on a website such as Canva.
Now, this cover, you know what that is? That picture?
No.
That is
Why am I not?
That's water spots. I got this picture from a City College grad, Donna Spencer.
Okay.
And I saw the picture, and I'm like, "Wow, that's a cool looking picture. It looks like monsters or things looking at you." So I got that picture from her, and see, looks that right there this looks like a person standing there looking at humans. So these are water spots. So I got that for my book cover. I just thought it was very unique looking.
It is unique looking. And you know what? I only can see it's water spots now that you say it's water.
Well, yeah, there's a being holding another being's hand, and there's a being right there looking to the side, and their legs right there.
That is interesting. And now, who designed?
Oh, his name was Arthur George.
Okay, design. Now, how did you find him to design the cover for Shepherd into Hell?
Well, first, I got a person from Fiverr. They made the cover with the pentagram, and they had a picture looked like a wolf, but it didn't look like a wolf. It looked like a dog. So I was at Danae Prosthetics. I was down at Danae Prosthetics with a meeting with the owner, Winston, and Andrew George. Andrew was the photographer, and he looked at the cover and he said, "That doesn't look like a wolf. It looks like a dog." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I don't know how to do that." He said, "I could fix that for you." He said, "I could put, just claw marks. It is more prominent with bloody claw marks." So I said, "Okay."
Right. That brings it out.
That's what he did. He took out the dog and put in the claw marks. Andrew George.
And this is going to be a movie.
Yeah.
That is an exceptional accomplishment. I'm very happy for you.
Thank you.
Yes, very happy for you. All right now. So, is there any particular story that's in They're Always Watching? Is there any particular story that you would say is one of your favorites out of the 13?
I would say Mama.
Okay.
Mama is a story about a female astrophysicist who figures out how to, like they did in Star Trek when they were terraforming planets. She figured out a way how to fix that and make it actually usable and have no problems with it. But there'll be no bad happenings with it. So she's in Africa, and they're having a big conference with other nations, and they're giving her all these accolades that she actually fixed the problem. Well, while she's in Africa, her family is there too. Okay. And while they're there, they're in a part of, I believe it's Zimbabwe, where there are like 1,000 lightning strikes a day. And while they're there, they're riding from the conference, her and her family, they're riding, and lightning strikes just start hitting the street, and the car is destroyed, and it kills her son, her daughter, and her husband. And while she's still in Africa, she's like, she's really distraught, but she makes sure that her family is with her because she's going to take them back to America to bury them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, while she's watching Star Trek, the episode where they're doing the terraforming, and she says, wow, if I can make a planet or any other area of the country of the world that's very arid, if I can make this livable,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if I could do that with people.
Wow.
So while her dead family is in the garage, she has the terraform device sent to her. She puts the device into the garage, she turns it on, and she leaves. And her family comes back to life, but they're not what they used to be, because she had to actually sew them back together because, like I said, the car destroyed them. So it's sort of like a female Frankenstein.
Wow.
So she basically puts them back together, and the terraform device brings them back to life, but they're not the way they used to be. When they're in the house, her husband is very submissive, and her daughter is very combative, and her son
Mm-hmm.
is just there. And what I don't want to tell you the whole story, but what happens is the daughter
Mm-hmm.
says to the father and her brother, she's not like us, she has to go. Talking about the mother. That's all I'm saying. You have to read the story to get the full aspect, but they turn on her, turn on the mother, the one who actually recreated them. It's called Mama.
Okay.
Yeah, I got that idea from watching Star Trek, and I read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein like a billion times.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, wow, it would be kind of cool to do like a really weird female kind of offshoot version of Frankenstein.
Now, so besides Frankenstein, what has been some of your some other inspiration for you?
Oh, for my stories?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, I can get inspiration for anything. Like another story in there, it's called Mr. Bitters. I got the inspiration from that story from Chris Jones, City College grad. She sent me a picture of a trash bag. She said, can you write a story about this? So I looked at it, I said, yeah. So that's where that story came from, Mr. Bitters. I got that story from a trash bag sitting across the street in the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's inspiration from that story came from one guy being mad of the government not picking up, their trash bag.
Okay.
So, and he's really angry,
Mm-hmm.
but he's going through his whole spiel about, Mr. Bitters, which is his next door neighbor. He doesn't say anything to him. He doesn't talk to him. He said, you're very mean to me. I don't care about you. But Mr. Bitters never says a word. Comes to find out, the guy is in the trash bag. He's a dead body inside the trash bag.
Oh. So what was it, like a challenge when she said
No,
that?
she just said,
can you write about this?
because I told her I can write a story from anything.
From anything.
And so she sent me a picture of a trash bag. So that's where that story came from. Mr. Bitters.
I like it. I like it. Exceptionally creative.
Yeah, I get inspiration from anything. Songs, just walking down the street, just looking at people. Something someone to say to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's interesting. I write it down. I said, that could be the first line of my story. And I said, well, what is the story about? And I said, well, yeah, I got to think about what is the story going to be about? And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just develop it as it goes along.
I see. So you said, you start with like characters? You develop your characters and your setting first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Shepherd into Hell, Baltimore, Maryland?
Yes. Baltimore, Maryland is prominently displayed. Cherry Hill is prominently displayed.
Okay.
Mondawmin, all over Baltimore. Charles Village. Oh, there's a massacre in Charles Village. Oh my goodness. It's unbelievable. The werewolf.
Baltimoreans, y'all hear this? Marylanders, y'all hear this? This is the settings that are going on in Shepherd into Hell. Okay. I definitely have to get my copies. All right. Well, now also, let us know. You said that the books can be purchased on, both books can be purchased on Amazon.
Yes,
correct?
Amazon and Barnes and Noble. And they are always watching. Also can be purchased on the indie bookstore.
Independent artists.
It can be. It's also on Booksy.
Okay.
And I can't remember the name of the other. Oh, Apple Books. I mean, look at my notes. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. What about Barnes and what about like a Barnes and Noble? What about the library?
Oh yeah, it's both books are at Enoch Pratt Library.
Enoch Pratt Library.
And it's
downtown
also
Baltimore.
in the New York Library.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that kind of surprised me. I'm like, wow, the New Yorker Library has my book. That's all right.
Stretching.
But yeah, what is that? Apple Books. Well, the ebook is on Apple Books, Google Play Books, Barnes and Noble, and ebooks. And paperback is Amazon, Barnes and Noble, the indie bookstore, Book Grinds, Booksy, and like I said, over 200 independent bookstores nationwide.
Goodness. So definitely, if you are an aspiring author, take some notes from Mr. Joseph Norris from this show, the Tyese Show News and Ooze. And you will be able to get some inspiration because you can do this, aspiring authors. Now, how would you say that through all of this, that your journey has been therapeutic for you?
Well, it's been therapeutic because I can like chill as I'm writing. I'm listening to house music.
Not my beloved house music.
I'm listening to house music, and I'm writing my stories, and I'm so calm, and I'm relaxed, and you know I don't I keep all the outside things away from me, and all I have is my house music and my pen and paper, because I'm old school. I don't do with the typewriter and the computer. I write it down, and I read it. Then if I don't like it, I scratch it out.
Okay.
Yeah, but like I said, it's been therapeutic for me because, like I said, it's been calming and relaxing. Even though I'm killing people in different ways, and
right,
blood is there all over the place, and I have these images of Edgar Allan Poe stories and Vincent Price, and I'm like, that'll work. And I just started writing down, like, oh, interesting.
So definitely Edgar Allan Poe. So I guess you really probably look up to him.
Oh yeah,
his writings.
I adore reading Edgar Allan Poe. Sometimes it can be hard to understand, but when you read through the small print, you're like, wow, this is all right. This is really sick. But he was a deep writer. He was,
he really was.
Yeah,
he really was. We had to read Edgar Allan Poe in high school. Some Edgar Allan Poe in high school. I remember that. All right. Well, I want to thank you for coming on to the show.
Oh, you're welcome.
For sharing, for sharing with us. And this is, like I said, this is a genre that I had not covered as of yet. I've had a couple artists on, but I was glad, to do this. Is something different for me. But now I will be ordering your books, and I ask that everyone support. Okay, support and order a copy of The Shepherd into Hell, and order a copy of They Are Always Watching Things That Go Bump in the Night. Thank you again,
well,
Mr. Joseph Norris. And also, we cannot wait for the movie, The Shepherd into Hell. Okay. The Tyese Show, News and Ooze, every single Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We go live. Remember to download the Coyoteman Show Network on your mobile apps, Roku and Amazon Fire TV. Thank you, and I will see you next Sunday.
Adios.
Mwah, 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 mwah.